Ďakujem. Dobré ráno, dámy a páni. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kelvin Summoogum, and I'd like to start with a question. If you could go back in time and change something, what would that be?
Máme problém s prepínaním prezidencie. Vieme sa na to pozrieť, technici, prosím?
Okay, as they get this sorted, let's do something. Let's raise the energy in the room. Can you all stand up, please? I'd like you to put your hand like this and turn left and say hi to the person next to you. Left. Your left, not my left. I think your left, and say hi. Now turn right. Okay. Now I'd like you to move your hand like this, right? Let's get the adrenaline to flow, right? Okay. I'll take some pictures. Carry on, carry on. I want to see the hands. Thank you for a standing ovation. Thank you.
You have to go more to...
Okay. So this is Harry, loving husband, father, and grandfather. At the age of 73, Harry had a fall and was admitted at the hospital with a hemianthroplasty, a partial hip replacement. The surgery was a success, but 1 month later, Harry was still in hospital, but being treated for totally different things. A pressure ulcer, a hospital-acquired infection, a high blood pressure. 3 months later, Harry's family took him out of hospital as his condition was getting worse. But it was too late. Harry passed away 3 months later from sepsis, an infection that can be treated with 25 cents worth of antibiotics if detected early. Harry's story is not unique. Dr. Kovinsky, a clinical researcher at the University of California, found that a third of patients over 70 and half of patients over 85 leave the hospital more disabled than when they came in. I've worked in healthcare for early 20 years, and during my tenure, I have seen the struggles of CEOs, CIOs, and bed managers firsthand. Due to the shortage of staff, burnout, and increase in demand due to the aging population that is affecting the whole world. Patients are also unhappy, and a lot of them don't think they are treated like human beings at the hospital. Something is not working in our healthcare system. But it doesn't need to remain like that. From the dawn of time, humans have worked hard to make the world a better place. We captured the mystery of fire. We split the atoms. We've spliced the genome. And we built computers that can fit in our pocket. We made this progress by unleashing the creativity, talents, and hard work of people like us in the room. I believe the time is to revolutionize the health system. I see a bright future, a future where the home is an extension of the hospital, and a future where AI takes on the administrative burden to allow our doctors and nurses to focus on caring for the patients and, when necessary, using tools like augmented reality. A recent research has shown that 46% of hospital care can move to the home, mainly for patients with chronic conditions. Technology has allowed for telemedicine, wearables, and health devices at home can detect early warning signs. Many tests can be done at home. And with that, hospitals can reduce to smaller, agile treatment centers focused on the acute care. So things like neonatology, imaging, intensive care, surgery will still need to remain at the hospital, but the rest can be delivered at home and under a value-based care model. This is what's driving the global home care market, projected to reach $1 trillion by 2035. AI is doubling in intelligence and capability every 3 months. Here's some fun facts. Did you know that 90% of the world's data was produced in the past 2 years alone? With AI, hospitals have all the tools they need to improve throughput, optimize workflows, and improve patient outcomes. Here are just 36 clinical AI applications that could be implemented within your hospitals. It seems a lot, but if you start in 2026, by 2032, you would have implemented most of these tools and be an exemplar for many hospitals in Europe. Conversational agentic AI is also transforming operations within the hospital, conducting patient intake, triaging, and generating clinical documentation, thereby freeing clinicians from repetitive administrative tasks. By reducing per patient processing time and ensuring consistent interaction, hospitals can serve more patients with fewer staff while maintaining quality of care. Last but not least, augmented reality in surgery is giving surgeons access to AR overlays, which project clinical patient data directly onto the surgeon's field of view. Remote surgical consultation, allowing expert surgeons from, for example, Mayo Clinic, to virtually scrub in to operations in Slovakia and offer live guidance. Enhance precision and visualization tools to improve surgical accuracy, minimize invasiveness, and reduce the risk of complications by offering unprecedented control over the operative field. Today, my company, MiiCare, serves over 55 hospital systems in Europe, UK, and US. From my own experience, I can see that AI does play a lot within the healthcare sector. We've supported names such as the NHS and Mayo Clinic, and these are the figures that they have achieved in the space of 1 year alone. You have all the tools you need to achieve similar results and no longer have to feel like the French resistance behind enemy lines, undermanned and outgunned. I would like to go back to my question. If you could go back in time and change something, what would that be? Ladies and gentlemen, I lost Harry, my father and best friend, from a hospital-contracted infection. If I could go back in time, I would change what happened. But sadly, that is not possible. But what is possible, though, is my ability to prevent hospital patients from having the same demise as Harry. My father taught me how to always fight for what I believe in. Solving this problem is my fight. And I know many of you in the room today took your job not for the sheer prominence, but because you believe you can make a difference. So let's fight for it together, and let's reimagine the hospital of tomorrow and make a difference to the hospital staff, to your patients, and a difference to their families. My name is Kelvin Summoogum, CEO of MiiCare. Thank you for your attention. It's been a pleasure to be here today, and I thank Itapa for inviting me from the UK. Ďakujem.
Vy máte až ďalší plán.
45, ešte dodatočné otázky, nie?
Áno. Áno. 45.
Thank you so much. If there are any additional questions related to your presentation, do we have any questions on Slido yet? I think it is as no. I have one additional question, if I may, regarding the implementation of all of the changes. Is it smooth, or what are the biggest challenges that you are facing throughout the whole implementation process?
Thank you. When you say implementation here, you mean implementation of the AI?
Yes.
Yeah, so you really need to bring on board experts that can help you. But one thing that I've found very surprising, a lot of the clinicians, they already know the answers, they already know how they can use AI, they just are not techies, but working in collaboration with the technical team, this is when the magic happens. So, for example, my team worked very closely with Mayo Clinic. We work very closely with the NHS. On our own, we can't solve the problem. It needs to be a co-creation, a collaboration between the clinical team and the technical team.
If you would have to compare the situation in the United States, UK, and in the EU, what would be the major differences? And it is probably relevant that the United States is ahead of us.
There's one answer, Peniaze. So I think it's just the budget, because
Is it just the budget or regulations as well?
Well, the regulations, I don't think so. It's a problem, because we work to MDR, MDD, and CE, and then in the US it's FDA. So the infrastructure is there, and Slovakia already has the infrastructure, but it's just the budget that gets in the way, because you have very talented engineers here, you have very talented doctors, but it's just the budget gets in the way that limits what can be done in Slovakia.
One last question from Slido. Could you please specify exactly what your company does and how it addresses problems in the hospital setting?
So we built a generative AI model that helped the hospital to do the intake process. So it's a bit like scribing, where a doctor is talking to a patient, and then the AI is recording, but ours doesn't need the doctor within the room, because the AI has learned all the questions, such as what's your name, what's your date of birth, what's the purpose of your visit. This way, the physician can spend most of their time doing the diagnosis, spending time with the patient, as opposed to giving their back to the patient while they are filling a form. So our AI takes care of the form. So that's one part of what we do. The second part of what we do is we have an AI that we put in the home of a patient that reminds them to take their medicine, remind them to hydrate, and if they've had a transplant, our AI reminds them to take their immunosuppressant, but also acts as a companion. Her name is Monica, and she's there, very similar to Alexa, that helps the patient to recover much faster within the home as opposed to the hospital.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.